Hey everyone, it's Veiled Shop back at it with another Awaken Chaos Era video, and in this one I'm going in-depth into a beginner's guide, exactly what I will be doing for my brand new free-to-play account that I'll be starting on stream. More details about that later. There's a lot of changes that have been made since the beginning of soft launch, since we started, and some things have changed, some things have remained the same. But overall, I'm going to be giving you an updated guide on exactly how to go through essentially your first month inside the game. So let's go ahead and start off with campaign. Right when you start up the game, you're going to be dumped into the campaign mode on normal. And this is going to be chapter 1. You're just going to be clearing through it, and you're going to be unlocking certain things in the game. You're going to get summons on chapter 1.8, I believe, and you'll be able to summon. And then on chapter 2.8, you'll unlock one of the most important things when you're starting out a game, and that is the rookie summons. Now, I'm not going to go in depth here. I already made a video up. I'll put it up in the top right corner here on re-rolling, and basically you're going to be picking either Evra or Mathasia if you want to be as efficient as possible. But if you want to go in depth, be sure to check out that video. Now, after you've picked your 2.8 summons, you're going to want to build a starting team. There can be all manner of certain teams depending on what starter team you want, but I will just mention a couple characters here that is actually really solid and will be able to carry you through most of campaign. And the first one up is someone I have selected here, Connor. You get him for free from the Covenants. I'll show you right here. If you click on this little chair right here, you can see there's 4 characters available, and one of them is Connor. You get him pretty much right when you start the game, stage 3, 4, and then clearing any ability crystal dungeon 3 times. And Connor is an amazing support unit. He can solo support a squad between his attack buff up and his shield. And then, of course, healing. Great unit. On top of Connor, another one to look out for is Zachary. He recently, I think, will be getting a buff based on the future patch notes. Even without the buff, he's still an excellent unit. He is a good damage dealer. Is he worth a 6-star? Perhaps, depending on what unit you took in the initial beginning. Another unit to look out for is Nathalia. If you happen to pull her, she'll be amazing in campaign. She's also someone you might want to look out for re-rolling. And that's between the elites and the epics. And then one last one that I highly recommend you look out is Zatlux. And Zatlux is someone who will absolutely carry you through any campaign mission and also a lot of wave clearing content in the game, including Void Tower. So you should definitely be looking at Zatlux because he is a Covenant character. Now, he's not going to be obtained super because you need to do 200 arena battles. And assuming you do 24 per day, it's going to take you roughly about a week because you can get arena passes inside the game. So it will take you a decent amount of time. So he will be for later stages of the campaign. After you finish 2.8, what next? Well, the first thing you should be doing is clearing out normal campaign. So you should just be getting a damage dealer 6-starred. Now, those damage dealers can be any damage dealer in the game realistically. However, there are some better than others, but you really want a 6-star damage dealer to go ahead and scale you through campaign. If you get them 6-star, they should take you through all the way through Mythic, especially if you start someone like Evra. So that's what you should be doing. You should just be clearing campaign as far as you can. So clearing normal, and then if you need to in this game, you can actually use friends heroes. So for example, here I have 44 players on my friends list. So if we just go into the adventure mode, go ahead and enter a battle, we can click on the support characters down here in the bottom left, and you can see all the 44 friends have a support character selected. And so I can pick one of the characters from my friends list and drop them in, and that's how you clear some very difficult stages. So you should put all your eggs in one basket when you're starting out the game by 6-starring that damage dealer. Go ahead and then use someone else's 6-starred unit to clear even farther. I will have some open spots on my friends list, so if you would like to add me, go ahead and do so. Enter the Discord and let me know. I will, lend you my character. That way you can complete very difficult stages like hard 10-8. It's important to note while you're clearing campaign, there will be certain stages that will give you some really excellent gear. I believe it's chapter 8-6. I believe chapter 7 gives you some good gear. There's some side missions in the normal campaign. And some of this gear is extremely important, and some of the gear I use to this day. As you're clearing campaign, you're also going to want to pay attention to the quest list. There are 2 quests in particular that are super, super important for you to pay attention to while you're clearing through the campaign. And that is the quick battle, getting to 3A on Mythic. So you should be completing normal and then hard campaign with those friend monsters, and then getting as soon as you possibly can to 3A on Mythic. Because when you complete this, you're going to be getting a 6-star Terra ring and a 6-star Terra amulet, and these have preset substats and main stats. They are excellent pieces. I still use them to this day. And then after that, you could start farming your legendary glyphs and get this 4 set of Rage 6-star legendary gear, which will also carry one of your damage dealers to, at this point, even now, I still have some of my characters geared out. It's important to note as well that with these quests, they are not retroactive. That means that when you finish a quest, you're going to want to accept the reward because you will not be able to progress afterwards if you do not accept the previous reward. I would highly, highly recommend you focus on this quest. And then, of course, these on the side, don't go ahead and focus on these, but if you happen to be able to just complete them as you go through, that would be perfect. Specifically the ability dungeon ones, actually, because they will give you a lot of crystals and allow you to level up your character's abilities much, much quicker. The dungeon ones can be, held off for quite a while. You won't be farming dungeons until you at least clear through most of campaign. So, with that in mind, when you're upgrading your characters, the characters have a couple of upgraded things that you can do to them. So the first thing is glyphs. So you're going to be wanting to go ahead and farm out your glyphs after you clear through Mythic. And those things are in the character menu here. You can click on the glyph in the right-hand side. And then these are your glyphs. You can click on a glyph that you don't have, and then click on the little scroll here. And then you'll see that they are available in certain stages of Mythic. Now, if you have lower level characters, let's just look at Celine here. You're going to start at level 1, and it's going to go all the way up to level 5. Now, as you're clearing, you're going to want to hold off on glyph farming as far as you can until you reach Mythic. If you're stuck on hard, you can start farming glyphs, but I'd highly, highly recommend you wait till Mythic, because when you're farming Mythic, you'll end up getting a ton of the blue level glyphs really, really easily, and then you could fill out a lot of your characters much, much quicker. Along with this, I would highly, highly recommend, as you're clearing out through normal and hard, to max out your character's abilities through the ability dungeons. That's in no man's land here, and you can just clear out whatever element you're fighting or whatever element you're using. And I would not recommend maxing out your legendary character's abilities, because that would take very, very long time. So if you happen to start with someone like Evra, for example, that character should be, held off until you can farm maybe stage 8, stage 9. But if you're using elites and epics, definitely level up their abilities. It's really, really easy. It's actually the most efficient to level up some of your characters on a stage 4 here for your blue gems right here, which is really, really nice. Also, you get a lot of gems for clearing them for the first time. So go ahead and level up that way, and then make sure you're 6-starring that damage dealer to clear through Mythic campaign. Now, let's say you've completed Mythic campaign. Another thing to note is while you're clearing through Mythic campaign, be sure to do your arena battles. You actually get quite a bit of energy by doing your arena battles. Also, it unlocks the arena store to you for accessing legendary potions, Abaddon in the future. Now, these obviously will take quite a while, but at least it'll be nice to start stacking up some of those materials right away. Also, it's really, really, really important that you do not forget about endless trials while you're clearing through campaign. When you're clearing through campaign, you'll probably be on level 20. Level 20 is not too difficult. Level 30 is also not too difficult, and level 40 is not too difficult. But once you reach about level 50 is when it starts to get a little bit more difficult. This game mode is extremely important in order for you to get access to gear charms. The only way to upgrade your gear, unless you're feeding other gear pieces into your gear. So this is extremely, extremely huge bottleneck to progression in this game, is the gear charms. And so you should be doing this every 2 days because it is absolutely free. It'll give you extra diamonds, extra tokens, extra gear charms, and you want to climb as far as you possibly can. Now, if you do want a guide on this or how to do it, I have a couple of videos on myself, and I oftentimes stream this. So you can go ahead and tune into those if you want an in-depth guide on endless trials, but you should definitely be going ahead and doing this every 2 days, along with your arena while you're clearing through the initial part of the game. And of course, even after that, I do mine every 2 days. It's extremely, extremely important. Now, after you've cleared through campaign, you're going to want to get to the first real starting into the end game parts of the game. So like end game gear farming, those stage 12 dungeons, or for those of you that play other gacha games, you know, Giants, B12, B10, or raid, you know, stage 20 dungeons. You're really going to want to focus on one dungeon in particular, in my opinion, and that's going to be Queen of Tides. Queen of Tides is extremely, extremely easy for free-to-play players and, you know, spenders alike. It also gives you access to some of the best sets in the game. Warrior set's actually exceptional in this game. Curse set is very, very solid. It did receive a nerf, but it's still a really, really solid set. And then Revival is my personal favorite set in the entire game. Getting that extra 10% or perhaps 20% HP per turn is extremely useful, especially in Void Tower game modes. Now, if you want an in-depth guide on Queen of Tides, check out my free-to-play video. I know it was before the patch notes for those of you that have seen that video, but it still holds true. You can build all 4 units as a free-to-play player. They are fusible or they are elites, and they will help you clear through Queen of Tides Stage 12 with minimal gear requirements. Now, as I mentioned previously, the Revival set's great for Void Tower, and Void Tower in this game is something that you want to focus on immediately. It's not like other games where you want to focus on clearing out all the dungeons and then maybe transitioning into a Doom Tower or Trial of Ascension. You want to go for Void Tower as soon as possible. And so what do I mean? Well, Void Tower normal floor 100 is actually really, really easy to complete, considering the fact that if you are farming stage 12 dungeons, which shouldn't be too hard within the first 2 or 3 weeks of you playing the game, you should be able to complete Void Tower normal. Once you complete Void Tower normal, the game gives you ability to multi-battle through it, which is a really nice bonus. Now, these rewards, again, they reset about every month, and these are literally free, not necessarily free rewards, but it costs 2 energy per battle, and if you fail, you only lose 1 energy. So you'll get a ton of summons, you'll get a ton of diamonds, and you'll get a ton of pumpkins, and at the end, you'll get a really nice, you know, epic or legendary from floor 100, and they're essentially free rewards because it only takes 200 energy, and you're getting way, 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 way more out of your 200 energy than you were if you were spending on anything else in the game. Not to mention, Void Tower Hard and Mythic unlock some of the best rewards in the entire game. So, you know, floor 100 here gives you legendary potions to be able to ascend your units, which I will be going over, you know, in a previous video, and I also will be going over in a future video to explain that. And Mythic, which I personally have not unlocked yet, will give you access to a guaranteed legendary crystal if you manage to complete it. Now, that's much, much farther for a beginner's guide, but I do recommend, as we're finishing up our beginner's guide video, for you to be pushing Ash 12, and along with that, Void Tower Hard. So Ash 12 here is actually very, very completable by a free-to-play comp. Well, at least reasonably free-to-play comp, using 1 unique epic and then the rest fusible or common / elite characters. And Ash 12 and Queen 12, between the 2 of them, you should definitely be able to get all the gear you need. Honestly, you probably only need Queen of Tides gear, but Ash gives you a little bit of diversity within your gear types. And then also with that Ash 12, as I mentioned earlier, pushing Void Tower Hard after you complete Void Tower Normal. So while you're completing Void Tower Hard, you're going to be getting access to foodies, diamond summons. Again, at the end, it's going to be that legendary potion, which is super, super useful. Now, hopefully this was helpful for a lot of you. As I mentioned, I will be doing a 24-hour stream. So that will happen at noon, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, January 16th. I will be starting my own free-to-play account, following this guide, and basically getting a little bit ahead for when those of you who are starting at global launch join the game. You'll be able to see how I've progressed within the first 6 hours. and hopefully that will be helpful to you all. Be sure to check out the stream if you're interested, and let me know if you want any more information on this beginner guide stuff. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and I will see you for the next video.